Washing on that, that's what I need. Washing on TV. Do you want to go in the wash bonbons? Do you want to go in the wash bonbons?
Hello and welcome to my live stream on YouTube. I hope you all will enjoy it. I will not be talking because people make fun of my talk, so I don't want to talk. But if you want to, you can just type your Clash of Clans ID and I will put in the lookup thing, and then yeah, we can go from there. Let me see, I need to ask something. I want a victory royale. Should I try and attack this button? Let's escape type. Have I start the attack? No, I don't want to attack. Something you can put your anxiety in. Just put your ID in. And you have the ID. What's happening? Well, I think anything can stop it at any damage.
Gonna stop doing that for me, okay?
What?
I think the spoon should go to the other one.
What is that? OT Express? Yeah, you free charge. Where am I? Oh, I'm 15th Sunday.
But this area is right along the river Duire, and it spills out into a sandy, tidal, steep-sided valleys of quite up to 4 of habitats, peatland, grassland, and of wood. And a few days ago, I got the chance to explore this area really well, to find out a little bit about its explosive plants. These wild works and windswept peaks here at White Powder hide a somewhat fiery history of this site. Now, on a beautiful afternoon like this, with sunshine, birdsong, dappled lights, it's really hard to imagine what used to go on here in those areas. Just a few decades ago, this site was a world-renowned explosive factory. How could I expect it to Luke Jones is the reserves officer, and he's here to introduce you to some of the site's star species. You must love your job. Can I say this? A day like today, I understand it isn't always the place.
Yes, so the Coptic Explosive Factory was the only building like this. So they've got it into the Northwest Fire first.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not going to bed. No.
Trees there for fire safety reasons. So all of these birch trees and
Sorry?
during that period.
That is incredible. So in about 25 years, all of this, and most of this has come up.
Yeah, just on its own and completely transformed the site.
This is nature reclaiming the land back. It's absolutely incredible how quickly, relatively, that seems to happen.
Listen to that
Which
piece.
is why we brought me here.
Much
So
as
this is one of the remaining factory buildings that we purposely selected for its potential fire groups.
noise
One of the main bat groups on the site, and there's a population of rare lesser orphan bats that live in here. So in the 90s, after a reserve, they demolished many of the factory buildings and detoxified the area. So these ones were left.
Explosive work was going on all this here.
So they did that last fall.
what other things do I have?
The blast afterwards in case of any accidents to stop any forces by growing the site.
Wow.
And now it's starting to fall apart and nature's slowly reclaiming the buildings.
These horseshoe bats, this form of explosive are one of our more threatened species. They have been confined to the west of England and here in Wales. They're incredibly sensitive to disturbance, and so places like White Powder are vital for their survival. Not only do they have shelter at the reserve, the reclaimed woodland is alive with insects for them to feed on. Another species that takes advantage of this abundance of invertebrates travel from Central Africa to call White Powder the pied flycatcher. So tell me why this is a particularly great spot for flycatchers.
Yes, so the pipe flycatchers happens in also in birch woods as well. Mix of
Oh, there it is. So that was the
yes.
amazing.
You mentioned you.
So this is so peaceful here. We're getting drawn in, obviously, by all the nature around us and all the wildlife. I'm reminded that this is, a place where so much explosive material sent out around it.
Yes, there's a lot of activity in World War II. There was 70 million grenades were produced here. The war effort. So this would have been a big hub of activity that, a big part of the local community. And now it's totally different. It's a place for the locals to come and relax and
Yeah.
Ancient Indians. Y aquí 14.
What a lovely tour that evening was with Luke. It was fascinating to learn about the history of the site, but also the natural history. We're going to be catching up with those pied flycatchers. The habitat, the ponds and pools of White Powder, and looking at the aquatic life that is making a home here. Nature bouncing back is our theme for tonight, and it's certainly true in Purbeck at the Purbeck Snoop. And earlier, Michaela joined licensed reptile surveyor Gary Powell to do a survey of all 6 of Britain's reptiles.
So, what is it about the history of this heath that's made it so good for our reptiles?
So for many years they've been extracting clay from it. So over the years they've developed a series of pits, ditches and ponds that's really, really good for wildlife and has really helped the habitat for the reptiles that are on site.
There are 6 native reptiles in the UK, 3 snakes and 3 lizards, and they can all be found here. You just have to know where to look. And there we go. I guess that's where we're looking.
This is a history program. So we want to get an idea of what animals we've got on site. And it helps us with some of those more secretive species like smooth snakes.
I'm feeling lucky. You should say at this point, if you're walking around here, please don't lift these things.
Then you've got to put the tin back. If the animals move slightly, you could squash
And
them. You don't want to disturb them any more than necessary.
Okay, fingers crossed.
There's a lot of build up for this. It might just be ants.
No, come on, you're promising something. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, it's the first site. I mean, you never want to find something straight away.
These things are never easy. We've got a grass snake here. We've got a smooth snake there.
Oh, that's just fantastic.
Do you want to handle the grass snake?
Okay.
You're alright with these?
I'm alright with that one.
You're okay with me to get a licence? They're always quite active when you first catch them. The defence mechanism for these is sometimes they pretend to be dead, which this one clearly isn't doing. And coupled with this smell, probably quite effective as a defence mechanism.
So where's that coming out of, that smell?
So this comes from an anal
From the
gland.
anal gland down here?
Yeah. I actually got to quite like it, but
No,
it will
are
never
you serious?
It'll never catch on with the perfume.
Oh, no, it's really horrible, Gary. Should I put this one down now?
Yeah, we let that one go.
Okay.
Over there.
Nothing to do with the fact that it's, I've had enough of its smell. There we go. Good. So let's have a look at this one.
So it's
Smooth snake.
Yeah, well, not good in your face, is it?
Just sorry.
You're
Quite
fine.
fussy, aren't they, with their habitats?
Yeah, quite reliant on certain habitats and climate.
So you were saying the rarest that here might be the easiest of the reptiles to see.
Yeah, on this side we never guaranteed the access, but we've always got the really good chance like these here.
2 snakes already. What a great start. Only the adder to find. Every reptile discovery provides invaluable data for the survey. No.
Nothing under that one.
But also not finding anything.
So it's into the last one.
It's just as useful. As it helps them assess the populations here.
Right, there's a male family basking here. Along this super cool.
Really bright green. Beautiful emerald colour.
Yeah, it's probably vivid, isn't it?
How does it have to do with the colour?
Once they've bred, the colours will fade.
Oh, nice. It's so worse. Oh, look at those colours.
Really slow and I've ever seen.
Click on the
Get them in little blue spots, but
that you called in.
and I think they're really underrated because they're considered common. They turn up in gardens and not composted. They're often mistaken for snakes. It's the same as lizard. One of their defence mechanisms is that they've got the ability to drop their tails. The predator goes to leave use the tail, but it falls off. And so this one has lost its tail in the past. You can see that heeled over into it, and that black tip,
Yeah.
that's where the sort of one pointed tail would have been a lot longer than that.
Within just a couple of hours, we've already found 4 species.
What's it called?
I spotted it at the same time. Look at that. It's the common lizard.
Common lizard.
Despite the name common lizard, I mean, they're not as common as they used to be, are they?
No, I think reptiles in this country declining to some degree. Part of our monitoring programme is to find out to what degree what we can do about it.
And I guess the reasons are the same as most other things: loss of habitat, fragmentation,
That's right.
climate change,
Yeah,
pesticides.
all those things combined, that's what does the damage.
I've got to say though, I wasn't
What's it called then?
we've seen all 6 of our reptiles. We've seen 5 of them, which just goes to show how important, how precious this heathland habitat is.
That's 6. Not
No,
bad, I
actually,
suppose.
5 out of 6, but do you know what we did see that we didn't show? Was we saw the shadow.
The
Show that.
shadow.
Yeah, that's sort of 6.
I saw the shadow of an eagle. Where is the shadow? You didn't leave it. No one leaves a shed skin there. They collect it to give to children to introduce them to nature. You made the whole thing up. You saw 5 out of 6.
No, but we did honestly see proof of the
So you did a half day, which is why you only scored 5 out of 6. You could have gone on and found the other one had you worked harder.
I hated Darwin. But you know what? With all those reptiles, that does pose a little bit of jeopardy for our nest because on past watches, we've seen a lot of predation from snakes of the chicks and the eggs, haven't we?
Yeah.
But that's not all they eat, of course. Chicks, eggs, fish, amphibians, small mammals, in fact, whatever fits in their mouth, which is somewhat larger than it might seem. Take a look at this. I mean, that is quite difficult to work out what's going on there. But it's a snake eating a frog. And the frog is going down whole, and you can see it's somewhat bigger than the snake's head. How do you do that? Well, first of all, let's have a look at this incredibly... You cannot drop it.
This is a very precious specimen. This is the skull of a grass snake. We borrowed it from Bristol Museum. I'm absolutely gripped with envy. It is absolutely stunning.
Grip with envy, but grip onto it. I mean, you can see how small the jaw is. In width-wise, it's 2 centimetres, and that frog would have been about 6 centimetres. So how does a head that's 3 times the size of the width of the jaw manage to get it down into the mouth?
What a skull.
That is amazing.
Hey, look at it. There's little teeth in there. Look at those little gripping teeth in there.
All facing slightly
Do you know
back.
what? We're going to post this back to Bristol Museum. It could easily get lost in the post and redeliver to my place.
I'll tell you what, I'll say.
Let me explain how the snake skull works, but it's not like our skull, particularly the lower jaw. You see, ours is fused here, but the snake's isn't. And Nick, if you remove the... Right, here is the lower jaw. And the first thing to say is that it isn't fused together at all. So that allows the jaw to separate like 2 pieces of the lower jaw, thus giving it a greater width. But it's more than that, I have to say, because what I can show you here is that using this bone here, it is able to distend the jaw downwards like that. So rather than only being able to open its mouth wide like this, it can distend the jaw even further to increase the height, if you like, of its mouth, which is pretty sensational stuff. And you can see it in action here. Here is a grass snake swallowing a great crested root, using it's what we call its macrostomatum skull. And you can see that it's swallowing that root down. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll put their glottis, their windpipe, if you like, out of the side of their mouth if the prey is sufficiently large so that they don't choke in the process of swallowing it. Now, you may have heard in the past, of course, that people say that they dislocate their jaw. It's simply not true. If they were just to dislocate their jaw, you damage them. You can't damage yourself just to eat. So what you do is you have those exploitations. Now, that's enough for getting a big thing down, but how do you actually swallow something which is sticky or slippery like a frog or a newt? Well, you need to employ the pterygoid walk. Can you do that?
Well, I can do it as it's sort of, as I say, this is a sort of clue.
Right.
But I think we can demonstrate it better on this rather marvellous prop that we have here.
Okay. Right, you be the prey at the top. And here we have the grass snake here. And I'm going to operate it from the back here like this. So what happens is the grass snake finds its prey, it then climbs up and it seizes it. So it's got hold of it at this point in its widened mouth, using that greater gape. But then it needs to be able to grip it and swallow it. And what it does is it protracts one side of the jaw and then retracts it like this. So it basically walks its face and its skull and its jaw onto the toad. Ladies and gentlemen, what a prop that is. Come on, we've got another go. Come on, let me draw that. Isn't that sensational? So, one thing that I can tell you whilst I'm repeating this remarkable thing is it grabs the toad, there we are like that, and then it starts to walk its skull on. So this very flexible skull, held together by elastic fibres, is able to swallow that. Only a couple of bits remain virtually intact, and that's the bit around the brain case here, around the snout and around the arms. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the BAFTA. The BAFTA, the Oscar of that, courtesy, of course, of Lucy Lackney. And we salute her genius. This is superb, honestly.
Well, to put that on the website, you can make one yourself.
What about that?
That was a beautiful thing. Let's go to next. What do you think of that? Have you got anything that can even get close to this prop?
Oh, wow, it was a pretty good prop, wasn't it? But I think I've got something. I think I've got something. So, Lee, who's still done it. So I'm really pleased that this series is going to be joined by Leif Sweden, who is our resident botanist. Because of course, we've got some amazing reptiles, we've got some amazing birds, but we cannot forget about plants.
Absolutely not. That's so exciting. I'm so excited to tell you all about them.
I'm really pleased, and I know we've got a really exciting one here, but obviously the habitat, we're going to keep looking at it. I know it's not one that's necessarily, all that fertile. I mean, heath obviously dominates it, gorse dominates it, so what have we got?
Yeah, so the place we're in is like really sandy, it's really damp, it's really sort of acidic, basically really tough conditions for plants to grow in, with very few nutrients in the soil. But what those conditions do provide is really excellent conditions for little insects to live. And where little insects arrive, you get things that eat them, of course, as well. And this is one of our predator plants taking on these insects.
Okay, well, should we get our noses in? I want to see this predator plant. What have we got here?
So, this is called round leaf sundew, and its leaf is one of the most beautiful structures in nature. It's just extraordinary. So, it's got this light green leaf covered in red tentacles, and each tentacle is sort of tipped with this globular sticky.
Yeah.
And so, it looks like it's kind of covered in dew.
Yeah, look at that. You can see it there. It's glistening, the dew.
It's so beautiful, isn't it? Just so unusual to see something like that. Almost looks like an alien.
Yeah.
And they're really quite small. I think a lot of people think these are quite big, obviously, in the images.
Like me then.
They're little plants, but obviously, if you're little insects, they're quite big.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say that because with sundews, you always imagine them to be like bigger than they are. If I put my finger right next to it, like look at it, it's just about as big as my fingernail. I mean, with those kind of red tentacles, it is, it makes the size of the plant look a little bit bigger. As you said, if you're a fly, I mean, that's good.
It's the size of a trampoline. It must be absolutely terrifying.
Okay, so tell me about how it works then, because obviously as a predator, it has to be able to consume its prey.
Yes. So it kind of acts a bit like fly paper. So a fly will come down, land on the leaf and get stuck to the leaf.
Oh yeah, we've got a mosquito there.
The leaf starts rolling up, like really strangling this case of mosquito. And it's just look at that, it's amazing.
It's so cool.
Terrifying for a mosquito. But what it does is it releases this sort of cocktail of digestive enzymes which break down all the soft, juicy, fleshy parts of the mosquito into this sort of root-wriggling, delicious mosquito soup. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, great.
Which then absorbs through the leaf, uses those nutrients to grow, and then unrolls its leaf again when it captures the next leader.
Of course. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I just really want to know, all signals that tell it exactly when to move and how to do it.
So it's really clever. Basically, when a fly comes down and lands in the leaf, it gets stuck and it starts freaking out. Basically, it panics, starts struggling, and it's that movement which tells the plant there's something happens. And what happens, and there's basically this amazing piece of research from researchers at the Clark Institute in the University of Washington, where they've used these sort of specially modified glowing sunbeams. And it shows how just a little touch to one of those tentacles sends this kind of wave.
Wow!
Jiggles in me.
That's alien! That's so cool.
And it's that wave of signalling that goes through the plant that tells it exactly where that insect is. So the plant, when it rolls its leaf up, sort of centres on that point where the insect is, which comes into contact with lots of sticky tentacles, really firmly securing it in place and ensuring that it can't escape.
Wow. I mean, in my mind, it's just like, I've known about Sunday Road, but I've never seen it light up like that.
It's so good. It's really good to see that kind of signal in action.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm really pleased that you're going to be joining us throughout the series. You can look out on the next few episodes for Leif's contributions, and he's going to be going out all across Arn and obviously around the Isle of Purbeck as well. Bring us some of the best casters I'm around, and I want to learn from you and see all these bad parts that we really should know and love a little more. Now, of course, it is we love to bring you the best of wildlife all across the UK. So whilst we're down here on the south coast, I reckon we should take a trip up.
Today, the remnants of tectonic turmoil rise from the Atlantic Ocean. Over 100,000 birds gather here on Hermanus to nest in spring, all bringing their own flair. Culture of habit and high fashion, sporting a flamboyant new season look, this male is standing proudly at the threshold of his cosy penthouse pad. It's a burrow, potentially an old rabbit hole, reclaimed and repurposed. It's a home he returns to every year, after overwintering from potentially as far as the Bay of Biscay. He'll share it with a female with whom he has a lifelong bond. But for now, he's alone. She's still en route from her overwintering ground. Many meters below, another male is waiting for his mate to return. A gannet, and they don't do cosy. Perched on a cliff face, this is life on the edge. He's got work to do, grabbing grass and other scraps of vegetation, even collecting seaweed, to build a nest which will withstand the punishing wind and rain which regularly lashes the cliff. Job done, he settles down for a well-earned rest. Above, a puffin is also turning in for one more lonely night. Morning brings new arrivals, and among them, our male's other half. Gannets are arriving from even further afield, sometimes as far as Morocco or Senegal. Pairs are reunited, and with families to build, they waste little time getting started. A successful mating, so a single precious egg can be expected in around 6 weeks. The sky is soon heavy with the colony, heading out en masse to the feeding grounds offshore. And it's now that the gannet reveals the devastating benefit of that sleek physique. arrowhead bill slices through the surface at speeds of 24 meters a second. Underwater, web feet and powerful wing flaps propel the birds to depths of up to 34 meters. The colony is so huge that competition for food is intense, and fights break out. The risk of serious injury is high. Thankfully, not today. Once satisfied, but not too full to fly, the gannets head back to the cliffs before dusk, where, high on the headland, a certain female has found her mate. He comes down to show her to the burrow. And some tender bill fencing reaffirms the hair bond. With the neighbours one step ahead, these puffins have some.
Well, from sea cliffs and seabirds to standing at the edge of a pond, or in a pond I should say, I'm at Gwaith Howden Nature Reserve run by North Wales Wildlife Trust, and this used to be an explosive factory for almost 150 years, and the water I'm standing in was the water they used to cool down dangerous complex chemical reactions. Today it's quite different, it's a real magnet for wildlife, and we've got a couple of volunteers from the Wildlife Trust, we've got Dennis and Iona, helping out getting us some specimens because we really wanted to feature one species that's doing specimens here, females, adults and juveniles as well. This is absolutely amazing because these are in great numbers and really fascinating animals, strange biology. They can really generate energy for their life cycle at certain times. They can skip in times of their life cycle. I managed to film a few earlier with some males as well, and one of the really interesting things about these is they're one of 3 species of newts that are found in this country, in the UK, and we can look at how different the palmate newts are. In this shot here, you can just about make out there's the male there with those black webbed feet, but also there's some other features that you can see as well. So the newts, when you look at their throats, if you ever get a chance to look at them closely, they have no markings on the throat, no spots at all. So that's one feature that's diagnostic. You can see those dark hind feet there of the male, that's the breeding male. The male will also have a tail filament during the breeding season as well. And the breeding female will lack those features, but she will have an orange stripe on the tail. So those are some of the features that you can look out for these palmate newts. Now live up to their amphibious nature. They will move out into the leaf litter in the winter, but in the spring they return to these ponds to breed. Now here at Gwaith, they're doing incredibly well. There's seemingly hundreds of them. We've been able to film them literally just looking down in the water on this wall. And you can see that this isn't a natural environment. You can see that rubble underneath there that was used to build up this pond, but almost hundreds of newts darting in and out of the shadows there. Really beautiful things, fascinating to watch them move underwater. They're lizard-like, but they are amphibians, and they will be making the most of this habitat. There you can see one of the juveniles with the external gills as well. So loads of features to pick out when you're looking at these. Now the interesting thing about their presence here is they're predatory. So that means if they're here in such big numbers, there's plenty for them to eat. And we've had a few specimens just of invertebrates. There are actually quite a few adult beetles here, water boatmen. We've seen earlier, we saw some diving beetles as well. Those won't be things on the menu, but they'll certainly go for smaller larvae, things like maybe this dragonfly nymph. It's an early stage larva there. And it'll also go for things like caddisfly larvae, which will be quite small for them, other small beetle larvae. But they'll even go for frog spawn, they'll even go for tadpoles as well. But they don't have it all their own way because their presence attracts yet another predator that's higher up the food chain. And just when we arrived a few days earlier to try and get some shots, we hadn't even started setting up, not even for 30 seconds of being here, and this is what we saw. Didn't have time to film it, but we did have a chance to get a quick snap. Now this is a small, possibly juvenile grass snake. And what's interesting about this one is it just cruised straight on by. And the word grass snake is a little bit of an undersell because these grass snakes actually do really, really well in an aquatic environment. They are strong swimmers. They will head out into the water, and you often see them swimming, their bodies undulating underwater, but their heads just above the water. Early in the spring, they'll be looking for mates. At this time, they'll definitely be looking for food. And over here, that means those pond-made roots. So it's an amazing environment. It's rich, it's abundant, and it's a little mini ecosystem. And it's really important just to take a moment to remind ourselves that there was a time that there wasn't a single tree here. It was an explosive factory. That would have been a fire risk. So everything you see around here is been here for like 25, 30 years. That is nature bouncing back. And I don't know about you, Chris and Kayla, but I just find that amazing. Not just amazing, I think it's hopeful.
Certainly is, Julian. I love it when nature reclaims places that have been damaged by humanity. Back here at Arlo, let's take another look at our range of nests that we've got cameras fixed on at the moment. We've looked at the oyster catcher, we've clearly seen the ospreys and the buzzard. Look, top right, let's go to a new nest, our kestrels. And this is a live shot of the young in the nest there. They've got that thick grey down coat, their second coat, and they're snuggling up together to stay warm because despite the fact it's been sunny down here, it's now very windy and there's a chill on the air. We've been watching these birds over the last few days in a nest box quite close to our production village. Both of the adults are servicing the young with food. The female seems to be bringing most of it into the nest and tearing it up and feeding it to those chicks, but the male's busy too. Here she is with the juvenile robin, and they've been bringing in a great range of prey, just like the osprey that we saw earlier. She tears it up into small, delicate pieces and feeds it very deliberately and carefully to those chicks. As I say, a range of prey, kestrels will feed on anything from small birds, as we're seeing here, to rodents as well. The male, however, has brought in a sand lizard, a female. And they catch quite a few of these. The lizards are out and about at this time of year looking for places to lay their eggs, and look at that. That is a sand lizard's egg being removed from the body of the adult and fed to a kestrel's chick. Cycle of life that egg lives series. And they are making a nice meal out of that female sand lizard. I'm quite sure how to feel about that. Hey, look, there. The tail is moving around. Now you know that these tails will thrash about to distract potential predators, something called autotomy, but that lizard has left it a little bit too late, I would beg to suggest, to distract the predator at this stage. And the youngsters are capable of following that tail that the female does. One of the young is considerably smaller than the others, as we can see here. There are 5 larger ones and this smaller one. Even when it makes its way to the front, it's struggling to get food from the female. You can see there she's preferentially feeding all of those taller chicks which towering above it. And even when she does eventually try to give it some food, it's not very good at swallowing it. So she's giving it some intestine here by the looks of it. And then look, she tries to help it out. In fact, it pulls it out of its mouth and ends up getting given to one of its siblings. So it appears, I'm afraid, Michaela, that we have a little runt in that nest.
We do have a runt, and as you can imagine, I was rooting for that runt, as I'm sure most of you at home were as well. But we do have an update. This is something that happened just before we went live, and I do have to warn you here, because this is not an easy watch. It's slightly heartbreaking, but this is what happened. Runty, unfortunately, didn't make it. This is the heartbreaking bit, when you see all the other chicks peck away at it. This is all insurance, isn't it? I mean, 6 chicks there. It was a lot of mouths to feed. That's why they had so many eggs, because one is highly unlikely not to make it. That one didn't. They won't eat it. I mean, it's actually ate their sibling, it's more likely that one of the adults will come in and remove it from the nest. But what a shame. I was rooting for it.
Healthy cholesterol chicks still going. That's the way you've got to think about it, isn't it? As you say, it's an insurance policy having that many animals. Anyway, let's move on to a mindfulness moment now. Let's immerse ourselves in the quiet cool of a bubbling brook.
Absolutely mesmerised by that dipping. Sit on the back of the TV, pouring up under water. Stick
Stick your bladder and then stick with the terrified walk.
Let's have a check out of our live cameras, see if anything in particular is going on. Here we go. Let's have a look at the wall. Oh, we're going to go straight to the osprey. Oh, look at that. You can see the two chicks there, still being fed. And hopefully we will see a third egg hatch. This is really special though. So much work has gone into getting these ospreys to breed on the south coast. And we're watching these two chicks. These will be, if they both survive, second lot of chicks.
Second lot of chicks, yeah.
Born on the Dorset coast.
Long way to go, though, Nicola. Long way to go.
Long way to
Not
go.
all about birds, though. We've got some deer, Seeker deer here, I think, are they? Let's have a look. It's quite windy down on the marshes here at Arm at the moment, and there they are out there in that lush green grass, grazing.
We saw them earlier, didn't we? Just behind us here.
Yeah.
Sort of in the water.
Quite a significant population of Seeker deer here, introduced species, of course. Hey, what about this as a photograph? Marsh Harriers, food passing in North Norfolk, taken by Ricky Sinfield. Pretty special, that one, I'd say.
We've had a lot of gory stuff tonight, so I'm going to show you something really cute that you will love. Look at this. Foxgloves. Oh my goodness. Tom Matthews, you sold yourself with this.
Oh wow.
Look at them on the beach. I mean, that's not the normal place to see them. But look at that little face.
Frolicking in slow motion.
You don't get better than that. That's cheered me up. After the day
One thing better than that. Poodles frolicking in slow motion. That's absolutely sensational. We're not the only one that have been focusing on reptiles, though. Have a look at this. Here is a coot pecking at the tail of a grass snake. Richard Harrison took this. Of course, the grass snake could have been after the coot's young, because they will eat them. A whole mass of slow worms here. Mark Halson took this. There are some youngsters in amongst it. Golden needles, we call them. They must have been under something. I imagine he's lifted a log to reveal that aggregation of slow worms.
Looks like spaghetti bolognese, that, doesn't it?
Not eating around your place. Here, John Spooner took this picture of Adam. What a beautiful animal the adder is. We certainly hope to be catching up at some point here at Arm. And I don't mean finding a skin. And this
Keep sending me photos in there, as you know we love to see them.
So we've got time for. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be introducing you to another family of foxes. This family here up in Scotland, and we'll be following those for a few days.
And I'll be looking up to the sky for the bird with the biggest wingspan.
catching up with those pied flycatchers who, when it comes to mating behaviour, let's just say it's complicated.
We'll be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow. In the meantime, you can watch our live cameras, see if that third Osprey chick hatches, and I'll be with Hans Titbull tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Watch Out on all our social media channels. Keep sending all your photographs in. It's a beautiful evening, so get out, enjoy the sunset, have a great day tomorrow. We'll be back at 8 o'clock to bring loads more fabulous spring content. See you then. What can you do to make a difference to nature and the environment? Well, sometimes big changes come from small actions. The Open University explores simple but effective ways to make a positive impact. To get inspired, go to bbc.co.uk / follow the links to the Open University.
Dad, I'm second out of 100 people in my game.
Sorry?
I'm second out of 100 people in my game league.
What game is?
Clash of Clans. And I'm in the solo league and I'm second out of 100 people.
Well, you just stop it.
Look at this TV. Let's see what it does. Let's see. What the settings? Get more apps. Yes, I get more apps. Let's see. Then one, two. That's Monday. Okay, I'll go to live. to STV and go to the live part of it, not delete, you want to. Go scroll down.
Oh, yeah.
Sculpting.
Okay.
If you come from the
Oh, I need to stop it now.
You want out?
Alright.